did not practice. John Condo did not practice. Ron Bartell did not practice. Limited in practice, Kreiner, Denarius Moore, Alex Parsons, and Richard Seymour. And then full participation with Brandon Myers, David Osbury, and Mike Mitchell.
Is Bartell's injury has been reported a broken?
He's got a fracture of his scapula, and I don't know how long exactly that means. It will be out until obviously this time. I don't know the answer to that yet. Well, I mean, there's always that potential, but you know, these guys they've worked their tail off here at OTAs, mini camp, and training camp, and then obviously we've signed some new guys. But I feel pretty good about where we're at right now. I thought Pat Lee did a nice job coming into the game the other night, filling in for Ron when he went out in the second quarter. So we've got all the confidence in the world in the guys we got here.
How'd you feel Hansen did as far as picking things up?
I thought he did a nice job. You know, again, it was 1 week into the deal, so you know he's continuing to progress. So I think as we keep going along and we feel more comfortable, we'll begin to mix him in there a little bit more.
See Gate the ladder now, who's working out there, snapping. If Kano can't play, would you go to him, or is it him or the guy you just signed, Nick Guess?
Well, we signed a guy to the practice squad today who we would anticipate if Travis isn't able to go, that he would come in and take that role.
If John's not in there, right? Travis.
I'm sorry, yeah. I'm sorry. Condo.
So John, has he already begun the protocol process?
Yes. Yeah, he's involved in the process right now. So that's going to go all the way up until you know, probably Saturday before we know for sure, or at least there's the potential that could go all the way to Saturday before we know.
How different is that skill set from just being a regular center to being a long snapper? A lot of people think that it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but I guess it is.
It's totally different. You know, I mean, when you're a regular center and you're snapping the ball, whether it be shotgun, you know, it's a one-handed snap. The day after the game, and he was a little sore, and we decided to hold him out of practice today. You know, I think he's really more day to day. We'll see what's at tomorrow. Taiwan's ribs, and he's kind of the same way as Rolando. It'll be something that'll be a day to day situation with him.
Miami's defense, 3-4 or 4-3 with Coyle or Nate. A lot of the same personnel, but are they a different kind of team to attack now? Are they much different?
Well, you know, we played against them last year, but you know, obviously I didn't pay too much attention to that side of the ball. But with the 4-3 scheme, it's a little bit different. Their front seven is very good. They're very stout against the run. They've been in the top 5, I think it is, in run defense for the last 3 years. So that's something that they do exceptionally well. And then you know, they've got a little bit of a pressure package that makes it difficult on us.
Houston is a zone running team, and they got like 2.4 per carry against them. You guys probably didn't get as many yards as you'd like, especially in the first game. How important is it to get down there, especially in the heat, and get some running game going yourself?
Well, I think it's important. You know, that's part of what we do in our offense is a running game, and it sets up a lot of the other stuff that we do, play action passes and that type of stuff. So we got to get the running game going, and I feel confident that we'll be able to do it. It's obviously a tough challenge this week against a very good run defense, so you know, we got to be on our game.
What are your impressions of Miami's offense?
Well, I think you know, they did some nice things in the game the other day. You know, they got caught up in the turnover battle there in the second quarter, and you know, not totally unlike the situation that happened to us really in the third quarter against San Diego. So they've got talent on their offensive team. Reggie Bush obviously is an explosive player coming out of the backfield, and they're able to run the ball pretty well. So it'll be a challenge just like everybody you play.
What about the quarterback?
had a little rough going, a few interceptions. But what do you think of his first game out?
I think he's real talented. I think he's obviously went to Texas A&M, so he's really smart.
Of course.
So no, I think he's a good player. You know, he was on the other side of some bad luck a little bit with some of those tip passes that turned into interceptions. So you know, I'm sure they've talked to him and tried to get him to improve on some of the things that he can improve on. He'll be a better player in week 2 than he was in week 1.
Did you follow him a lot because he went to your alma mater and just started in passing over the years?
Yeah, I mean, I watched him play and I was impressed with him playing in college, and I've been impressed with what he's done in the league so far.
No practice at the same time. Do you adjust your schedule at all though this week with the early start?
No.
Meetings or anything?
No, I mean we're up early in the morning. You know, we meet early in the morning and practice starting at 10:45, so we're about 45 minutes behind schedule. But I don't really see that as being a big factor.
Ford indeed had his surgery.
He did have surgery, yes.
As far as number of receivers, you're fine. As far as number of bodies you have right now, you don't need anyone.
5 is the number that we, kind of intended to take into the season. So where we're at right now, we feel good about.
He's fine off the ankle.
Yeah.
I feel like you need to get more pressure on the quarterback this week, especially the rookie.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's any secret that we feel like the way that you stop offenses in the National Football League is to affect the quarterback. There's a lot of different ways that you can do that, but obviously, we want to get more pressure on the quarterback, more so than we were able to get last week.
Is that the defensive line rotation you guys expected going into the game? I mean, like Seymour got a lot of snaps. I mean, considering he didn't practice in a couple of weeks, would you try and reduce some snaps on some guys and rotate more guys?
Well, obviously, when you really take into account the Miami Heat, we're going to have to do a good job of our rotation, keeping those guys fresh and keeping them where they can. They'll be at their best in the fourth quarter, and so we'll have to do a good job of rotating those guys throughout the game.
Carson threw 3 passes to Darius on that first drive. Darius did get another pass from his way, I think, until the first drive in the fourth quarter. Was there something San Diego specifically doing, or does he have to be more involved, do something more?
No, I mean, listen, when you're calling the plays, you have certain things that you're anticipating that they're going to do, and you're anticipating that you're going to be able to feature a certain player, but they may not do exactly what you thought they were going to do on that play. So the quarterback goes through his progressions, and the defense tells him where to throw the football.
After the surgery for Jacoby, do you have more clarity about how long he might be out?
I don't know. He's obviously out for a pretty good period of time. I don't know exactly what that time frame is yet.
So there'll be no transactions with him as opposed to the short-term PED?
Well, we haven't made that decision yet.
Short-term IR or whatever it is.
We talked to the doctors, I believe it was this morning, right before we got out on the practice field. So we haven't had a chance to get back in there and kind of discuss it a little bit, but we'll probably have a decision made pretty soon on him.
How they describe the surgery procedure?
They said the procedure went well. And again, we'll see how long that means.
What is the injury? Is it just a broken bone, or is it?
No, it's as I understand it anyway, it's the Liz Frank that he had last year. It's the same exact injury, and they expected it to get better, and it didn't get better, or at least it wasn't good enough for him to be able to do the job that he's going to have to do. And so we all felt like surgery was the best option.
Back at running backs more involved this week. Did the winner ever emerge? Really emerge between Jones and Goodson?
No, I mean I think it's still a battle there, and it'll probably be a battle, throughout the remainder of the season. That's really kind of the way we like it. Competition brings out the best in everybody.
So do it, everybody. Thank you very much.